Whenever you want to maintain any kind of state inside your component, then you can work with the useState. Well, basically useState is a hook of a React, and it can only be used inside the functional component. So whenever we want to use this hook, then first we need to import it. Let me import it, useState. Alright, and then after that I will create our useState syntax. So this is how the syntax of useState looks. So inside this method of useState, you can assign the initial value. It can be anything. It can be any primitive value or non-primitive value. In our case, what I want to do, I want to assign an object with the properties of David, and designation is going to be software engineer, right? So it returns, the useState method returns a two element. The first one is the value, right? And the second one is the function you will use to update this state. So this value, it can be anything. In our case, the value key name is first, but what I will do, I will rename it with the name of details, and for the function name I will write set details, right? And if I want to use the values of the useState, then we can do something like this. Details dot name, and I am working as a details dot designation, right? So let me refresh, save it, and then when I will look over here, then it is returning me my name is David and I'm working as a software engineer, right? So this is how you can read the state inside your JSX. But the thing is, how can we update this state? Well, to update the state, we can be able to update this state using this function, which is the second element of our useState. So let's create a button, update state, and inside this let's add an event listener on click, and inside this on click we can pass the function. So let's create a function, const update state. Let's pass it. Alright, so whenever we will click this button, what we will do, we will update this state. So we will change the name and we will change the designation. To update the state, we can go invoke our function like set details, and inside this function we can pass whatever we have assigned inside useState, right? Let's copy it, and if I want to change the name to John Doe and designation to JavaScript engineer, right? So let's refresh our page. When I will click the button, then you can see that it has changed the name from David to John Doe, and it has changed the designation from software engineer to JavaScript engineer. If I want to change only the name, I don't want to change the designation, then for that you can do something like this. First you need to copy all the properties from your main object, which is inside the useState. So for that you can use the spread operators, details, and then you can write the property which you want to override. So in our case, I want to override the name, so I will say Jane Doe, right? So let's just refresh our page. When I will click update button, then you will see that it is returning my name is Jane Doe and I'm working as a software engineer. It has not changed the software engineer, right? So if you want, you can pass the state as a props in your child component as well. So let me create a component, child.js or AFCE, right? And let me copy this line, cut it, and let me paste it over here, and let's call our child component and then we can pass our state as a prop. So I will name it as details equal to details. Now let's come over here inside the child component. Let's destructure our props details. So when I will save it, then you will notice that it is still returning me our initial state. So when I will click the update state button, then it will update our state as well, where we are updating our state in the parent component, but we are reading our states in the child component, and it is, both of these are synced together. Whenever we will update the state, it will be reflected to the any component which you are reading that state. So this is how the useState work in JavaScript and React. So for the better state management inside the component, it is advisable to use the useState. But for the complex state management, we can use for that state management libraries like Redux, or we can use the built-in hook of React, which is called use context, that is a part of a context API. Don't worry about it, we will cover all these things in our next videos. I will also show you that how can we create or update and manage the state inside the Redux, and I will also show you that how can we manage all these states inside the context API. So this is it from this video. I will see you in the next one. Have a nice day.